This could be a major week for Bitcoin. We are beginning to see the start of a breakout. Bitcoin is consolidating between major liquidation zones. For now, it's best to wait and see if the price can break out above resistance or below support before expecting a bigger move. The Trump administration is considering buying Bitcoin using tariff revenue. Trump's team has been extremely pro-Bitcoin lately, and it's looking more and more like US government-level accumulation might actually happen. We're looking at a chart which is showcasing us that the demand and supply for Bitcoin. These tell us sellers are exhausted and the price is likely to grind higher. Is the bear gone? Are we at the bottom? Hi everyone, and welcome back with us. I hope you're doing alright. Today I will be sharing, even though it's too early to know if we are out of the woods, there might be some encouraging signals. You will see that not a lot of things have been happening since yesterday, but I will do my best to give you a look at the bigger picture. The fear and greed index isn't looking too bad anymore. People are less fearful than they were last week, which is a good sign. Still, we need some time or a major catalyst to see real recovery. This could be a major week for Bitcoin. We are beginning to see the start of a breakout, and in today's update, I will go over my chart price targets, key chart patterns to watch, the ongoing demand shift for Bitcoin, what's happening with the dollar index and the stock markets. Let's jump into it. To be honest, not much price action has happened lately on the market right now. Bitcoin is still stuck in the low 80k range, 83k to be more precise. Let's see where the price of Bitcoin is going with the liquidation heatmap of the last 2 days. So, for much of the period, Bitcoin traded sideways between 84k and 86k. The price repeatedly tested both the upper and lower bound of this range, indicating indecision and consolidation. So, no big change here. There are visible liquidation clusters around 84k and slightly below, which provided support as buyers step in to defend these levels. You can see it in the light green bars. There is also dense cluster of liquidation levels in bright yellow or green bands just above 86k. This area acted as a strong resistance. Each time the price approached or touched this level, it was rejected and pulled back down. After failing to hold above 86k, Bitcoin experienced a significant drop, reaching a local low near 83.5k before rebounding. What this means? While this pattern suggests that 86k is strong resistance and 83k is key support, the price is currently stuck in a range and reacting to these liquidity zones. Unless there is a decisive breakout above 86k or a breakdown below 83k, the safest way to put it is Bitcoin is consolidating between major liquidation zones. For now, it's best to wait and see if the price can break out above resistance or below support before expecting a bigger move. There's still a lot of market uncertainty due to the US trade war. However, as we saw yesterday, President Trump eased up on key industries like tech and auto parts. Now, global markets are reorganizing trade policies that have been in place for decades. Just yesterday, European Union leaders reached out. Argentina's president said he's ready to sign a new trade agreement with the US. And several allied nations are stepping up to discuss not only trade but also Bitcoin. President Trump also met with El Salvador's President Najib at the White House. And as you may know, El Salvador has become one of the few countries to hold Bitcoin as part of its national reserves. We also got some wild news. The Trump administration is considering buying Bitcoin using tariff revenue. Yeah, it sounds insane, but not totally out of character. Trump's team has been extremely pro-Bitcoin lately, and it's looking more and more like US government-level accumulation might actually happen. We'll dig into that more in future videos, but here's the quick breakdown. Big demand, government buying would drive prices up. Legitimacy, Bitcoin gets a stamp of approval at the highest level. Global impact, other countries could follow heading into national reserves. 4. Market sentiments, massive bullish signal. Institutions and retail will likely pile in. Bottom line, this could set the stage for something big. Very bullish signs ahead. Looking at the global liquidity index, the orange line shows global liquidity during sideways or down period. The green line shows strong upward momentum in liquidity. And historically, when liquidity surges like this, crypto markets rally. This is another signal that the bottom could be in and the macro backdrop is turning favorable. Not much has changed in the stock market since yesterday. But the Fed is saying right now rate cuts are coming, and yesterday they also stated that they will remain flexible. Markets are currently pricing in 4 cuts in 2025, but things can change fast. If something major breaks, the Fed might cut faster, but realistically, we might need to see more pain before those cuts come. Across the board, funding rates are still negative, both for altcoin and Bitcoin. That means sentiment is still cautious but not panicky. And now we're looking at a chart which is showcasing us that the demand and supply for Bitcoin. We are seeing a clear shift in the Bitcoin supply-demand dynamic. Previously, there was a lot of sell pressure. Now that pressure has evaporated and buying is stepping in. These tell us sellers are exhausted and the price is likely to grind higher. Bitcoin has broken above a key downtrend line and is exiting a falling wedge pattern, which is typically bullish. However, we are still trading below the EMA ribbon and below the previous range high. That means we are not yet in a confirmed uptrend. But if we can break above that previous high, Bitcoin could rally hard, possibly toward 100k. We are seeing that previous retest of that high once again here. Historically, this has always meant capitulation and it has marked the bottom. And if you're just looking at the zooming, you can clearly see it. We are currently retesting a key resistance level. Historically, this type of setup has marked final capitulation and often signals a market bottom. If we see a confirmed breakout, I believe the reversal is real. If not, we are still in a risky zone. And looking at the dollar index, it is sitting right now at live support. The DXY is sitting at key support. Historically, Bitcoin bull markets tend to occur when the dollar weakens, and that's exactly what's happening now. Then, looking at some more alpha charts, we are seeing right now a big shift in the global liquidity, marking a big shift in the trajectory where the US Federal Reserve is heading towards. We are seeing strong signals that the Fed stance is shifting and global liquidity is rising. That's historically been a powerful tailwind for Bitcoin and crypto overall. So far, as you can see in this graph, none of the classic bull market top signals have triggered. That tells us we are still mid-cycle and this could be a great opportunity. And that's a wrap for today's video. If you enjoyed it or think it was useful, please like, subscribe or leave a comment in the section below. I always say it, but your support means a lot for us. Stay sharp, stay informed, and I will see you in the next one.